everybody, welcome back. Hope everybody's doing well. I am Andy, and I love to talk about fun things to do in Florida. And today I'm going to talk about one of my favorite little things to see and do at some of our big theme parks around here, like Universal and Disney. And that's look for some of the cool little Easter eggs and hidden secrets that they like to pepper and scatter in the park that a lot of people who come don't even really know that they're there or even think to look for them. I was recently out at Universal Studios looking for some of the more hidden gems and Easter eggy kind of things that I thought were really cool, and I'm going to share some of my favorites with you guys today right here. For the first few of these, you don't even need to go into one of the parks. You can just see them right out here in CityWalk. First one I want to mention is the Universal Legacy Store. It looks like just a gift shop, and that's what it really is, so a lot of us may just walk right past it, not even go inside. But it's definitely worth checking out. You pop in here and they have a lot of props and things left over from some old attractions that are no longer in the park. They have some props here from Jaws the ride that was taken out and replaced by Diagon Alley. Right here you have the actual leather jacket and some of the props that were worn by Arnold Schwarzenegger for the Terminator 3D ride. Some stuff that was part of the queue from the Back to the Future ride that is now the Simpsons. And one of those pods from The Fly that used to be part of the set for the Hollywood horror makeup show. It's really cool to see that that stuff is still here at the park and you can come and check it out and remember some of the old times and have some nostalgia for some of the older things that are no longer around anymore. If you're a theme park history nerd like I am, they have some exhibits that talk about the history of the park and the history of a lot of the rides and attractions that are here. I thought that was actually really cool to see. And they have some mock-ups and models of some of the attractions that are here, like this model rendering of Hogwarts and what became the Hagrid's roller coaster. So this store is definitely worth popping into, even if you're not going to buy anything, if you're just kind of nostalgic for the good old days and want to see some of the stuff that used to be part of the parks but is no longer there. They still have a few of them back in here you can see. Next is one of my favorite Easter eggs at Universal, and I love this one because not only is it a really cool piece of history to see in person, they actually hid it. It's not out in front for everybody to see and take a picture of and post on Instagram. You have to go looking for this one or know where it is. And that's the slab of the Berlin Wall that they have hiding behind the Hard Rock Cafe. To find it, just come up to the Hard Rock, walk up these little steps that are on the right side of it, and just walk around the back. You are allowed to go back there. It doesn't look like you are because you won't usually see too many people coming and going, but you're allowed to go back there. And when you come along the back, you'll see it. There's a slab of the Berlin Wall waiting there for you with a little plaque that explains the history of what you're looking at. I don't know the history and reason behind why there's an actual piece of the Berlin Wall here at the Hard Rock, but I do know that it used to be covered in graffiti just like it would have been back in Berlin. The whole Berlin Wall was covered in graffiti. And then one night, I guess a custodian or janitor or something saw the graffiti, had thought that it was vandalized overnight by somebody, didn't realize it was supposed to look like that. Big bummer, they actually cleaned it off. So looking at it now, you're going to see it in its unvandalized state, but that actually kind of takes a lot of the character away from it too. If you're a baseball fan, you definitely don't want to miss this next one, and it can be found at the Hot Dog Hall of Fame. Hot Dog Hall of Fame is a little outdoor casual restaurant that sells iconic hot dog styles from all around the country. You can get your Chicago dog here, you can get your New York style dog here, you can get your Dodger dog here, but the cool thing about this is you can sit and have the dog in an actual baseball stadium seat from baseball stadiums around the country, most of which don't exist anymore. So if you miss having a New York dog while sitting in a stadium seat from Shea Stadium, you can do that. You can sit in a stadium seat here from the old county stadium in Milwaukee, which was torn down years ago. You can sit in the seat from Fulton County Stadium where the Braves used to play. It's a really cool spot. It's a really cool Easter egg that I kind of stumbled upon. And I don't think a lot of people know about this, and it's a really cool little piece of baseball history to come see in a place that you really wouldn't expect. While walking towards Islands of Adventure past Margaritaville, you'll see this big white seaplane out front. This is the Hemisphere Dancer. It's a real plane, it's not just a prop, and it really is owned by Jimmy Buffett. If you come up close to the plane and peek underneath, you might see a spot where the metal frame has been patched up a little bit, and it looks like it's kind of falling off and corroding a little bit now. This is actually a spot where this plane was shot and filled with bullet holes. Believe it or not, this plane was once involved in a pretty wild incident in Jamaica, where the Jamaican police thought that it was being flown by drug smugglers and fired at it upon landing, when in reality it was Jimmy Buffett and Bono of U2 and Bono's family and a record producer on board just landing as part of Jimmy Buffett's tour. I did a video detailing this incident a little bit more, and I'll link to that in the description. I just think it's a pretty wild thing to see this plane here. You think it's just sitting there as part of the scenery, but no, it was owned and flown by Jimmy Buffett and was once actually shot at and filled with bullet holes at one point. And now you can sit there and have a beer underneath it. The Wizarding World's Diagon Alley sits exactly where the Jaws ride used to be, the beloved Jaws ride that a lot of people were sad to see go, but are actually pretty happy that what replaced it is pretty awesome. The Diagon Alley is a really great land full of a lot of cool secrets and very immersive theming. And there's some cool little Easter eggs here that pay tribute to the Jaws ride that used to be here. The first one is in the record store that's out in the London section of Diagon Alley. If you look inside there, you might see a vinyl record by a fake band called the Quint Trio, and the name of the album is Here's to Swimmin' with Bow-Legged Women. That's, of course, a reference to Quint, the salty old fisherman from Jaws, and one of his famous catchphrases from the movie. And then once you enter Diagon Alley, going in facing the left side, you will see an apothecary shop. If you peek in there, and if you're able to peek in there, because it's often very crowded with people lining up for the ice cream place, you will see a set of shark's teeth hanging out in the back there. It's another little hidden tribute to the Jaws ride. But my absolute favorite Jaws Easter egg in Diagon Alley is back in the Nocturne Alley section, and you will go back in there and you'll see these shrunken heads that are part of the little interactive wand thing that you can do. The shrunken heads will sing different songs, and one of them that they'll sing is Show Me the Way to Go Home, the song that was sung in that famous drinking on the boat scene in Jaws. Absolutely love that they added that. I think it's a really clever detail. Minion Mayhem at Universal Studios might be my least favorite attraction at either park. I think it's just too rough and nausea-inducing, but it's good for one thing, and that is for gauging crowd levels. If you come in and you see it has a really, really big, long line, you know lines are probably going to be pretty bad everywhere else. But despite the fact that I don't like this ride, it does have a pretty interesting Easter egg. Everyone knows that a core piece of the Minions' identity is how much they love bananas, and so they went so far as to grow bananas right here next to the ride. Those little palm trees you see hanging out right there by the queue area, those are actual banana trees. I thought that was a pretty cool little detail that not a lot of people would know about, and now that you see them, I think it's interesting. It's kind of a cool little next level detail that they added that they didn't need to, and I always appreciate stuff like that. The Simpsons Ride in the Springfield section of the park is where the old fan favorite Back to the Future used to be. But when they converted it to The Simpsons, Universal put a little Easter egg in the ride queue to explain how it went from being Doc Brown's Institute of Future Technology to end up in the hands of Krusty the Clown. If you're paying attention in the ride queue, there's a mini Simpsons episode playing that shows how a time travel mishap forced Doc Brown to sell the building to Krusty the Clown, who then turned it into the ride it is today. I don't know if that's considered official story canon in either universe, but at least it helps explain to people who missed the old version of the ride to why it was changed. And finally, there's the secret song list on the Hollywood Rip Ride RockIt. This one's a bit of an open secret. I know a lot of people already know about this one, but I'm always kind of surprised to learn that there are people who never heard of this, so here you go. It's true, there's actually a lot more songs on the secret list than there are on the official list that you can choose. You do need to know what song you want to listen to ahead of time, and you do need to know the 3-digit number associated with that song. So I will put a link in the description to the list of all the secret songs that you can choose and the 3 numbers you need to know. So I'll link that in the description. But to get to the secret list, all you need to do is hold down on the Rip Ride RockIt logo at the top of the screen that you see in front of you. Hold that down for 10 seconds, release it, and then this next screen will come up where you just put in the 3 numbers, hit enter, and you'll be ready to go. This is cool because you're not limited to the same handful of songs they've had in there for years, and you can make the roller coaster ride a little bit more tailored to your own musical taste, and there's a lot of good songs in there that you would never even imagine. So definitely check this out. It's really fun, and like I said, I'll put a link in the description to what all the songs are and the 3 numbers that you need. Just try to memorize them before you get on the ride, though, because they do have a metal detector and they don't let you bring your phone in, so you can't access the list while you're in line. You'll have to remember it, get in line, and then put it in right as you get in the seat. So those are some of my own little favorite hidden gems and Easter eggs around Universal. Let me know if I missed yours. Put it in the comments, tell me what yours are, and please subscribe and hit the bell to be notified of future videos that I put up about fun things to do in Florida. Thanks, and I will talk to you guys next time.